Welcome to another English lesson. The objective today is to work on your listening skills, and this particular listening exercise will work well if you are an intermediate student. Should you be a strong beginner or pre-intermediate student of English, give the exercise a go as well. The listening passage is called the Feudal System. Firstly, I'm going to ask you to take note of the following questions, as you will be listening for specific information during the passage today. You have 2 minutes to write them down. Let's have a look. When did the European feudal system dominate medieval Europe? What did lords grant to vassals in exchange for their loyalty and military service? What was the most important asset in the feudal system? What was the ceremony known as in which the vassals swore an oath of fealty to the lord? What was the main impact of the feudal system on medieval Europe? What was the lasting legacy of the feudal system on the continent? Alright, are you ready to begin? You are allowed to listen twice, so when you reach the end, simply rewind using the timestamps provided below the video. Good luck with the passage. The European feudal system was a social, economic, and political structure that dominated medieval Europe between the 9th and 15th centuries. It was a system of government in which lords granted lands to vassals in exchange for their loyalty, military service, and protection. The origins of feudalism can be traced back to the early medieval period, when the collapse of the Roman Empire left Europe in a state of political and social instability. In the absence of a strong central government, local lords and chieftains emerged as the most powerful figures in society. They controlled the land, the resources, and the people within their territories, and they relied on the support of their vassals, who were lesser nobles or knights, to defend their lands and maintain order. Under the feudal system, land was the most important asset, and it was divided into fiefs, which were held by lords and passed down through the generations. Vassals, in turn, were granted the use of a fief in exchange for their loyalty and military service. The lord-vassal relationship was formalized in a ceremony known as the homage, in which the vassal swore an oath of fealty to the lord, promising to serve and protect him in times of peace and war. Feudalism had a significant impact on the political, social, and economic structure of medieval Europe. It created a hierarchical society in which everyone had a place and a role, and it gave rise to a system of government that was decentralized and locally based. However, feudalism also had its drawbacks. It was a rigid and inflexible system that did not allow for social mobility, and it often resulted in conflict and violence, as lords and vassals struggled for power and resources. Despite its flaws, the feudal system played a crucial role in the development of medieval Europe, and it left a lasting legacy on the continent. It shaped the way that European societies were organized and governed, and it had a profound influence on the cultures and traditions of the region. This is the end of the listening passage. If you need to listen again, now is the time to rewind, otherwise, proceed to the answers. Let's have a look at the answers. When did the European feudal system dominate medieval Europe? The European feudal system dominated medieval Europe between the 9th and 15th centuries. What did lords grant to vassals in exchange for their loyalty and military service? Lords granted lands to vassals in exchange for their loyalty and military service. What was the most important asset in the feudal system? The answer is that land was the most important asset. What was the ceremony known as in which the vassal swore an oath of fealty to the lord? The ceremony was known as the homage. What was the main impact of the feudal system on medieval Europe? The main impact was the creation of a hierarchical society and a decentralized system of government. What was the lasting legacy of the feudal system on the continent? The lasting legacy of the feudal system on the continent was its influence on the way European societies were organized and governed, as well as its impact on the cultures and traditions of the region. Thank you very much for your participation in today's class.